Hi there and welcome to Capital View. On this episode, I'm joined by former minister in the UPA government. He is senior Congress leader and also the leading voice of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. Anand Sharma is joining me. Thank you so much for being with us on Capital View. Let's come to the big parliament story first, because you are the leading voice of the opposition in parliament. The Congress has supported the BJP government on the insurance bill, hiking FDI insurance to 49%. Is this the start of a willingness to become a more constructive opposition?
No, we are a mature political party and a responsible party in opposition. Unlike the BJP, which went in for partisan gridlocks, what has been passed was our bill. We fine-tuned it in the select committee and brought in greater clarity, particularly on Indian ownership and control, and capping the entire foreign equity to 49. These are two interlinked things which we have done. It's not helping the BJP. It is the BJP not being gracious enough to acknowledge that the bill which they blocked for 7 long years has been passed with the support of those who are the authors of that bill.
Right. But for the last 9 months, you've been blocking the government in the Rajya Sabha.
No, we did not block.
Now it seems that you're willing to cooperate.
No, we didn't block.
Is there a change in strategy?
No. We did not block. Important issues will be taken up. And where the government has to be opposed and exposed, this is the duty of the opposition, which we will do as the principal opposition party. We did not block at all. Last session, if there was a stalemate or logjam, the blame or the responsibility lies with the government. It's the government of the day which has to ensure the transaction of the business and the smooth functioning of Parliament. There were statements made by ministers, by members of Parliament, which we objected to, which were against the Constitution, against the very fabric of this country. And the Prime Minister came once and gave an assurance that it will never be repeated. He has told his ministers, he has told the MPs. But there were not only one, but repeat violations in that session itself. So we asked the Prime Minister, who came to the House also, we said, please get up and reassure the country. What has happened about the assurance? It was a parliamentary assurance.
Right.
And he refused to speak. Normally he prefers speaking outside Parliament because he believes in a monologue. He doesn't believe in a dialogue. You have to keep on listening to him. And he has to reprogram. We cannot reprogram Shri Narendra Modi. As a Prime Minister, he should know he cannot function as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, where he never spoke in the Assembly. Here he has only given speeches. He does not answer any questions.
Is that an issue you have with the Prime Minister, that he doesn't come to Parliament enough, he doesn't speak in Parliament?
He has not answered a single question. And his last speech was also in Lok Sabha. He was very threatening. And in the Rajya Sabha, I feel sad that this Prime Minister was speaking in the Parliament in a manner which a Prime Minister shouldn't, by thumping the chest and screaming. It shouldn't be. We respect the institution of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister must respect the institution of Parliament. We are a parliamentary democracy. We are not a presidential form of government. He is the executive head of a government, that is the cabinet system. But he has created a dangerous hybrid, which is, to my mind, lacks constitutional sanctity. He has concentrated all the powers, all decision making, all the appointments. His first decision, when he speaks of minimum government, maximum governance, but it is the reverse. He removed all cabinet ministers from the appointments committee of cabinet. But there is an appointments committee of cabinet, so he cannot be one member. So Home Minister is there, but Home Minister gets the file on its way back after the Prime Minister signed it. So this is a very serious aberration.
What about you? I mean, aren't you opposing for the sake of opposing? Aren't you in that sense imitating what the BJP is doing, that you're stalling for the sake of stalling the House?
We are not stalling. The House is transacting the business. If you look at the record of the last 5 years, or 6 to be precise now, it's the 6th year running, this Parliament is transacting business, passing laws, having meaningful debates. And look at the Parliament functioning. There's a published book, both by Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, for how many days Parliament functioned, how many questions were answered. There was session after session which they derailed. Not even a single question could be asked. The entire sessions were washed away. That was BJP. If today Parliament is functioning, if the legislative agenda of the government, which is for the country, is considered and goes through, the credit comes to us.
But what about land acquisition? I mean, now that the government has climbed down to some extent,
Still we are not satisfied.
Has amended some of those clauses that you were objecting to. Now are you
The fundamental issue.
The government still not satisfied with the Land Acquisition Act.
The government is functioning in an arbitrary manner. They, first of all, on such an important, sensitive matter, why the ordinance route to legislate?
No, but what more does the government need to do?
I'll tell you why. Because you are bypassing through ordinance the parliamentary scrutiny. Normally, when any law, when the bill comes to the House, the concerned House refers it to the Parliamentary Standing Committee. Now, what this government is doing, no bill is going to the Standing Committee. Lok Sabha just rubber stamps it and expects the Rajya Sabha also to do that. We cannot allow that. Parliamentary scrutiny has to be by standing committees.
No, but what is your substantive objection to the
I'll
land
tell
acquisition
you,
law
I'll tell
at the
you,
moment?
my first substantive objection is that they opened the doors for acquisition of farmers' land, multi-crop land for the private sector. That was our first objection, fundamental. Second, the social impact assessment cannot be done away with. If you are acquiring land for a public purpose, then social impact has to be there. Third, the consent, informed consent. So they have diluted it because they realized what they were doing was wrong. Their intent was not good. How can there be, when you are talking of a national consensus, do you have a national consensus when you don't talk to anybody? They have not even talked to the opposition. As of today,
but
they have not.
But as the finance minister says, why should industry be a bad word?
I'm not saying who is saying.
I was saying be a bad word.
No,
you as your former commerce minister.
Listen,
how can you object to
he's playing with words.
Something that will spur growth?
Let me then educate the finance minister that as India's Minister for Commerce and Industry, we had come out with the national manufacturing policy. We had come out with the industrial corridors, and we had made provisions. And even in this present act. There were opposition earlier from the Standing Committee of Parliament, which was chaired by Sumitra Mahajan, who is now the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, to which I had objected that these industrial corridors and the NIMS, National Investment Manufacturing Zones under the manufacturing policy, which are integrated manufacturing cities of the future, should be included in the definition of the public purpose. That was done. So we did things in a correct manner. Right. Nobody is to educate us that industry is not a bad word. We did it. We inherited a situation where our exports were 80 billion, and when I left office, it was 323 billion. They will not be able to reach where we left, despite all this publicity, showcasing, rebranding, repackaging. That's all what they are doing.
You recently participated in the March of Solidarity to Manmohan Singh's
yes.
home.
Yes.
You were very much there in the
yes,
march as well. Now, was this a solidarity march or was it a self-preservation march?
There's no question of self-preservation.
Does the Congress fear that now it's Manmohan Singh, tomorrow it could be another Congress leader who is in the dock, or the Congress leadership who is in the dock?
We dare the government.
On the coal issue.
We challenge the government.
You dare the government?
Yes, to embark on political vendetta. People of this country cannot be fooled and Congress cannot be browbeaten. We are a 130-year-old political party. We know how to stand up. We may have been defeated, but our spirit is not broken.
You believe this is nothing but political vendetta?
It's a bogus case, and it cannot and will not be able to stand legal scrutiny. How can, when there is no mention in FIR, here the prosecuting agency is saying there is nothing. And it is the CBI report filed now. So how can Dr. Manmohan Singh is known for his intellect and integrity both. And he has been not only a very able Prime Minister who does not believe in beating his own drum, which the present Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi does.
Why did the Congress try to distance itself from Dr. Manmohan Singh?
We have never done that.
In the 2014 elections, it seemed as if the Congress
we
tried to
didn't.
keep Manmohan
We
Singh
didn't.
in the shadows.
Listen, he was...
that the baggage of UPA 2, you
that's
thought
not
would
true.
go
There was no
interests.
baggage. There was no baggage. We were victims of a targeted campaign which was malicious to malign us. Now, we have been out of office for 10 months. Now, almost 10 months. Day after tomorrow, it will be 10 months.
But hasn't the party tried to distance itself from
no,
the
not
Manmohan
at all.
Singh-led UPA 2?
No, I don't think so.
But then why was Manmohan Singh not made part of the campaign in 2014?
He did
Why was
campaign.
why was he kept away from the campaign?
He was not. You see, you have to realize one thing, that Dr. Manmohan Singh could do only the limited amount of campaigning. He did campaign all over the country. It's not that he didn't, but his health and the demands on his time. So whatever meetings he accepted, the party respected his decision, number one. Number two, he had announced while in office that he will not seek another term in office. He is going to retire. It's a matter of fact and record.
Do you have any regret at all at the manner in which the party slightly undermined Dr. Manmohan Singh?
No, I don't think.
At the kind of reforms he was trying to embark on. The party, I'm not saying you particularly, the Congress party.
Maybe Congress party, like any other political party, has its own dynamics, its complexities. The party as such didn't. Certain individuals in the party did.
Did?
Yes, certain individuals who did not have any official sanction. Means when it comes to the party, the Congress president, Srimati Sonia Gandhi, chaired the meetings of the core group, in which the Prime Minister and the senior leaders were there. Each and every decision was cleared first by the core group, and then only the cabinet notes were moved on decisions to be taken. So when the Congress president is chairing the core group, in which Prime Minister is present, senior ministers are present, earlier Pranamji used to be there, Antony, Chidambaram, they all. So how can we say that the party was not either privy to or endorsing every decision?
What about on the coal bill, on the coal mining
No, we
bill?
have reservation. This is a backdoor denationalization of coal.
Right, so you have reservations.
Why
on
the
coal
end-use
bill.
linkages
So you're
have
not
been
going
removed?
to.
You see, they are hoodwinking the people. The auction route was available. Please read the 2010 Act and the rules and guidelines framed thereunder in 2012. Why the auctions could not take place? Now let me explain. First, when the legislation was being made, the BJP ruled states opposed. It took few years to bring them on board. Then the Parliament passed the Act, where the original Coal Act was amended. When the auction process was to roll out, the CAG report came, and some people went to the Supreme Court. Right. So Supreme Court stayed everything. Now auction has started. Why? Because in September, Supreme Court gave its judgment and cancelled all, not only our time. Let me put this on record. Also, which were allocated during the BJP NDA government's time. All. Now, why did they have to bring the ordinance? This is a question to be asked. I'll tell you why. Because they have done away with the end-use linkage. First, it was only for the electricity generation, for power. Then 2 more were added later, cement and steel. Now they have done away with that linkage and allowed private trade. This is the backdoor denationalization. That's why we are questioning their very intent.
Right. So you're not going to cooperate on the coal mining legislation?
No, we will.
You will not.
We have forced the government to take these bills now to the select committee, which is examining. They have not given adequate time. I have my serious doubts. This is the way this government is functioning, that bulldoze everything through the Lok Sabha because you have majority, and then when we demand parliamentary scrutiny, say that opposition is blocking. Now why to have parliament? Let them have ordinance. Why do they convene parliament if parliament has no work? Today the standing committees are rendered workless. Why nobody is answering this question? No bill has been referred in the last 10 months to the standing committee. This is very serious development.
On the BJP, would you like to also talk a little bit about the role of the BJP chief ministers in coal allocations?
It was not an arbitrary process. There's the screening committees at the state level. The recommendations came from the states. And the screening committee, even the central committee, had the state participation. So there was a transparent process of scrutiny, recommendations. It was not without the states. This impression being given that, oh, the UPA government was doing on its own. This is a canard. Where the recommendations came from? We are not saying that it was wrong. Of course, if the chief ministers felt that particular coal block has to be allocated, and in many cases the state governments recommended specific promoters, parties.
Right.
Can they wash their hands off? It did not start from Delhi. It culminated in Delhi, but started from
in the states. And it's also a decision that was not just taken by Manmohan Singh, it was taken by the entire cabinet of which you were a part.
No, these were the concerned ministries. There is a way the cabinet system works because the cabinet does not get into allocations. Cabinet only goes into policies.
Right.
Fine, there was a policy in place, there was a law in place under which the concerned ministry will function. Because mineral resources belong to the states, that's why no process can start without the states initiating, state having the screening committee, state recommending it to the central government.
Right. So, in fact, it was a process that started in the states and only culminated in Delhi.
Yes.
Let's take a short break at this point. Lots more with Anand Sharma on the other side. Welcome back to Capital View. We're talking to Anand Sharma about the Congress party, the parliamentary deadlock, and also about Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi has now extended his leave of absence until the end of March. So he's missed the entire first bit of the budget session. What kind of signal is this that is being sent out by Rahul Gandhi?
Listen, party has already made a statement. This is not a subject for a political debate. After all, if he has taken a decision that he needed time to meditate and to reflect, it is not a controversial
No, but
decision.
How can it be that you don't even know where he is? The Congress party doesn't even know where their leader is.
First of all, the right to privacy is there for every citizen of this country, and Rahul Gandhi's right to privacy must be respected, should not be violated.
Even from his own
we
party.
We need not know, frankly speaking. I would be, if I want to share where I am going, even for a vacation or for a retreat, I will share it if I want to.
But is this the time to be on vacation?
No, he's not on vacation. He's not on vacation. He's not on vacation. And why the entire party is there? No? Congress President, leaders of opposition, deputy leaders, chief whips, we all are there in Parliament. So why are we saying that he is not a minister or a prime minister? Sorry, he is not a leader of opposition. So he has every right to take some time off. This is not the first time that a senior political leader has taken a leave of absence.
He'll
be back.
Leading his troops from the front.
He will do that.
Especially at a time when the Congress is facing such a crisis.
Well, Congress is being led from the front by the Congress President, by the leader of opposition. In Lok Sabha, who was denied rightfully what was his due, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. And Ghulam Nabi and me, we are there along with our other colleagues in the Rajya Sabha. So we are doing our job.
Should Rahul take over as president when he comes back? Will he?
Listen, this is a decision which at the appropriate time the Congress party will make. More than 2 years ago, we had taken a conscious and considered decision by electing him in Jaipur session as the vice president. Now, it should not be an issue of speculation. We are an old political party, a traditional political party, and there are ways. We have our party bodies, a leadership mechanism, and collectively they'll take the appropriate decisions at the right time. These decisions cannot be made, some people make demands and all, those are individual views.
So there is no guarantee that Rahul will come back and become party president, because Kamal Nath has said that there are two power centers in
there are no two power centers.
Congress. There's Sonia Gandhi and Rahul
Gandhi. I don't agree with him.
And there should be a single power center.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No,
there shouldn't be a single power center.
No, there's no question of a power center. We have a Congress president, we have a Congress vice president. There have been earlier times when we have had Congress president, working presidents or vice presidents. Even during Rajiv Gandhi's time, Mr. Arjun Singh was there. Look at the history of the Congress party. So what's wrong? We have a collective leadership in the form of the working committee.
Jairam Ramesh, your party colleague, is saying that you're staring at irrelevance.
No,
the Congress is staring at the abyss of irrelevance.
Jairam Ramesh's association with the Congress is very recent. A defeat in the election or couple of defeats do not make you irrelevant. I can say very assertively and with full sense of responsibility, if you have a national vote today, you will see where Narendra Modi and BJP will be. I'm saying this. So nothing remains frozen in politics. Yes, there was
You believe that there's an election today, the Congress
BJP
party...
will lose. I'm not saying Congress will do much better. And BJP is not going to retain. They will lose at least 100 of the seats which they won. We will come back.
But are you being squeezed by the Aam Aadmi party?
Well, in Delhi,
Is the Aam
yes.
Aadmi Party taking away your constituency, the
It
poor,
has
the
taken
urban
away.
poor?
If it can retain it, only time will tell. I doubt it. Because that
It
party...
has taken away.
No, it has taken substantial part, most of the vote, but it will not stay with them because they are imploding. They have no ideology. You know, after all, Congress has an ideology, Communists have an ideology, BJP has an ideology, Socialists have an ideology, the Samajwadis. There is no political party devoid of ideology which can just hang in vacuum. Look what is happening there. Good luck to them, and good luck to the citizens of Delhi.
You fail to communicate. If
We have-
if you're saying that Modi
I
is a
concede
communicator
that
and a
straight away.
marketer,
Not that he's a
then
communicator.
you're not able to communicate your
I
achievements.
agree. He used the technology, he used the media. They had vast resources at their command. If you look at during the elections, I had said that BJP is spending minimum 10,000 crores on publicity. That was the only time Prime Minister, now Prime Minister, and then the candidate, Narendra Modi ji himself reacted to me, saying that he has so many days left in office, let him demand
Right.
an inquiry. Who was I to order a CBI inquiry?
Right.
Now, will Prime Minister Modi now disclose? There have been independent international monitoring groups who were keeping a watch. This is called the election watch. And
Right.
they also monitor the movement of money. And their calculation is that minimum the BJP's kitty or the spending in the Lok Sabha election was anywhere between $5 to $7 billion. Where did this money come from? Is this black money or not?
But you can't blame him for something that the Congress cannot do. You
No.
can't blame Modi for something the
Sagarika,
Congress is not doing.
no,
Because
let
you
me
are
tell you
not
something.
communicating.
No, I'm saying something
Your
else.
leaders don't talk to us. Mr. Rahul Gandhi only gives that
No,
one
let
interview.
me tell
So how
you.
can you blame Modi for being more
I'm not
communicative than
saying,
you are?
I'm not blaming him for being a communicator. I'm saying that we failed to communicate our achievements. We failed to counter the malicious campaign targeting the Congress and the UPA. But what is important is that allegations of scams were against us or the UPA government or against the Congress
But you
party.
need to mount the counter
No,
narrative.
but let me tell you one thing. But the money was with them. This is very ironical.
I want to end this by looking at the Congress party. You know, is the Congress party ready for a 10-year marathon or
Why
a
10 year?
20-year marathon?
Why 10 year?
Because it seems as if you're going to take a long time to
no.
rebuild, to come back.
No. We will rebuild quickly. We'll rebound. Why should we be looking
How will
at
you
10
do
years?
it? How will you rebuild and rebound?
You see, we have
How will
had
you rebuild and
we have
rebound?
had very intense consultations, which the Congress Vice President, in fact, was leading, and for months, leaders from across the country, not in one meeting, but for months, and then the report came out, which has been sent to the states. The state
But
consultation
how can the
processes are
public
over.
have confidence in your Vice President, Mr. Rahul Gandhi,
Why not?
if he disappears at crucial
It's
times?
not disappearing. What is the crucial time? We are
If
not
the
having
crucial
any
time of
elections.
the budget session,
We- no.
he suddenly disappears and
No,
upsuddenly
no,
leaves
he
and
will
nobody
come
knows
back.
where he is. Even
No,
you
listen,
don't know where he is.
I don't want
Even
to
the
know.
Congress party doesn't know where
No,
he
we
is.
don't want to know, even if we can know. It's not difficult, but we respect his privacy. I'm very clear on that. And when he comes back, of course, he'll be active again as the leader. So that's not the issue. We will.
Why is it not the issue?
You see, the
Surely
restructuring.
it has to
No,
be
it
the
is
issue.
not an issue.
Because of the
No.
leader has to be at least
No.
accessible at all times to his party.
No, he is. When he is here, he is. You can't expect that, he should be accessible and he has no right to go meditate or reflect whatever he
But politics is
decided.
too competitive these days.
No, I'm
How
sorry.
can he take on a Narendra Modi or a Mamata Banerjee?
No, he will
These are
take.
24/7 politicians.
Yes, he will do
who are
that.
constantly on
You
the
have to
job.
wait.
So how is he going to take
No,
on
the
these
rest of the party is
people?
functioning. He'll come back and he'll do it. He has done it in the past. He has been active. And
Is he
he'll
going
do
to be
it.
different when he comes back this time?
Listen, what is wrong with him? Anybody who's saying he's going to be different, well, he is reflecting.
Is he going to communicate more?
How can
is he
I?
going to
How
be
can
a
I?
little
How
more
can I
accessible?
say
Is he
that?
going to travel
How can I
more?
say that? Of course, he will travel. He will lead from the front. All this speculation is meaningless and counterproductive. Nothing has happened that the Congress party is active, Congress party is functioning, a restructuring model is ready for all the states. We are a big country, so we have to talk of the district units, district committees, state committees. There is going to be a massive revamp and restructuring as per the recommendations.
There's going to be a massive revamp and a restructuring.
No,
of the
I'll tell
Congress
you,
party.
that is because of the report which was prepared after national consultations. And that first there was the entry committee, then this consultation process,
Right.
and that report was sent to all the PCCs.
Is
so
there a
all
conflict
the
between the new generation and the
No,
old
it's
generation within
nothing.
the Congress?
We were
Old
also-
guard, new guard. Is there an old guard, new guard conflict?
Listen, I don't think so. It's a joke. In every political party, there is infusion of young blood. When I came into the Congress party, I came through the student and the youth movement.
Right.
Okay. Now, when I look back, it's hard to believe that I have completed 44 years in the Congress party. I was one of the founders of the students' movement, and I led the youth movement nationally.
That's right, yeah.
So now, more young people are coming. Now, they are my son's age, or some are younger than my son.
So are you apprehensive that leaders like you
No, we are not
now
apprehensive
have a
at all.
limited shelf life because they are going to take over now?
I don't think so. There is always a blend of experience
Right.
of the old and the dynamism of the young.
Right, but I think you've given me an interesting insight that the Congress party is all set for a thorough revamp
Yes.
and restructure. You've been very candid, very informative, and very feisty. Thank you so much, Anand Sharma, for joining me. That was Anand Sharma telling me that the Congress intends to be a constructive opposition in Parliament. It's not going to oppose just for the sake of opposing. It believes in the bills that it has helped to pass, and also that the Congress is all set for a systematic revamp and rehaul in the days to come. That's it on Capital View. Join us again next week.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.